All right. It's time. It's time.
It's time.
Number one on the list. My number one. So, coming in at number 5 on this list for me is Super Metroid.
I have no idea what that is.
Super Metroid?
Yes.
All right. Well, do you know about...
I'm showing my age here, I know.
Well, do you know about the game that just came out called Metroid Dread that everybody talked about?
I heard about it, but I never looked into it.
Okay. So, Super Metroid is a classic on the Super Nintendo. It's... for me, when I got it, I got 3 games at once. I remember I did very well in school that year, and then all of a sudden my mom had told me she was coming home, and she was like, I brought you a surprise. And I was like, okay, cool. She comes home, and she has 3 video games. She has Yoshi's Island, Super Mario World 2. She has Tetris, which I suck at Tetris.
I love Tetris.
I tried my best, but I'm terrible at Tetris. My mom took over that game. And then the last game in the bunch was Super Metroid. Did I know? I was you. I was like, the heck is a Metroid and what is super about it? So, like, I did not know what it was. And then all of a sudden, I remember playing it for the first time. I mean, I did not know there was more games prior to that. So, I was completely lost in the story because, number one, it was talking, like, yeah, it does a great fill-in in the beginning of the game. It tells you about what has happened that led up to here. And so, for me, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And it was the first game that I ever played that was actually, it had shooting or anything like that in there. And you were on an alien world, and you were trying to, I was like, my concept at the time was, I gotta destroy the Metroid, I guess. But no, you're going after the Metroid. And for me, just traversing the world, and to this day, like, I remember just, when they put it on the Super Nintendo Online, on Nintendo online service, I seen it was on there, and I played it. I played it all the way through twice, and I looked at my hours the other day, how long I actually played it, and it told me I'd been playing that game for like 18 hours. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. I love that game so much. Like, from where I was as a kid who couldn't beat it but loved it and kept trying and trying, to where I am nowadays, to where I can beat it and like go through it and absolutely love it and still find new things that I didn't discover before.
That actually falls in that right there, that act of not being able to complete it younger, and then as you got older, being able to complete it. That actually falls into my top one a little bit later on, but that's gonna be number 2 on the list. Well, right now we're number 5.
Well,
we ain't jumping.
Hey, that's me with Super Metroid, man.
So my next one is a fan favorite across the board. If you ask people that have ever played this game about it, they're going to say, oh man, this thing was awesome. And we are talking about SpiderMan 2, the original one, not the Amazing Spider-Man. I don't think they came out with one Amazing Spider-Man. They never came out with Spider-Man 2, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 on the game. I don't think so.
Yeah, they did.
They did,
but
I
think I remember hearing it was, I don't know. So, like I said, I never got to play that one.
Well, I'm talking about the original Spider-Man 2, based off of the Sam Raimi films.
GameCube, original Xbox, right. PlayStation 2, Game Boy Advance. We're talking that Spider-Man 2. That
game right there opened me up. First off, I was a huge Spider-Man fan as a kid, and I loved the Spider-Man trilogy. I loved 1, 2, and 3. I loved 3.
I loved 3. It wasn't that bad.
People hate on No, it was good.
They hate on Topher Grace, the dude. I mean, was he the best Venom? No, but was he still fun to look at and listen to sometimes? Yes.
I knew him, and I liked the guy that played Sandman. I don't know his name. I liked
him. Thomas Hayden Church. There we go.
I'm glad you know that off your top of your head.
I had to think about it. But
he did a good old part. He did a good job. He did a good job. But being able to hop into that game, and this really opened me up to, at that time, of an open world game. Now, these days, I am in love with an open world game. That's why I love GTA. I've played GTA enough to, like, Philip, he don't even want to play it no more. The people who want to play it with me is Richard, and then Philip's wife, Jennifer. That's the only people that will actually play GTA with me. And I love GTA, and I love open world games, and SpiderMan really opened me up to that. Being able to go across and actually interact with the AI that was just walking around like pedestrians. Oh, this lady needs some help. This lady's got some issues. Let me go help her out. Let me go see this. I enjoyed Spider-Man 3 as well. Not as much the game, not as much as 2. I think the second game was really well. I think that they could, if it was able to get like a boost in graphics, oh man, it'd be so fun. And you could, I forgot about actually being able to go into different buildings. But yeah, Spider-Man 2 was one of my favorites of all time. Played the living mess out of that for so long, and I absolutely love it. And not only was it a masterpiece of a game just on itself, it also helped me learn to enjoy open world games, and it got me into open world games like GTA and stuff that comes out now.
With Fetch Quest and all that wonderful stuff.
Yes.
It's amazing. Coming in at number 3 on the list is Donkey Kong Country. Now, wait for a second. This one is a little cheat. I put Donkey Kong Country Trilogy on my actual list. Why did I put the trilogy?
He was trying to sneak in 3 games. That's what it was.
Yeah. I can't really pick one of them, because they're all 3 amazing. Yes, even the third one. We're back to a third one where we're having to defend it, because I know Donkey Kong Country 3 is usually like, at that point with everybody when they talk about it. I loved it. It felt just, it was fresh. It was something new. I knew every game was going to the Nintendo 64 because when 3 came out, the Nintendo 64 was already out, if I'm not mistaken. It was already out. And for me, it was like all 3 of those games are just like, I love Rare. Rare is my favorite game company. And, those games, and Nintendo at the time when Nintendo and Rare pretty much held hands and made the best quality of games, those games were the epitome of, what I absolutely love, the platformers, why I love platformers, and why I still do to this day. Fun little story, bringing my mom and dad back into it, like I always do, because, if it wasn't for them, where would I be with video games? This was Donkey Kong Country 1 was my very first video game. The first game that I ever played. Why is it not number 1 if it was your first game you ever played? Because that's not the game that defined me. This Donkey Kong Country 1, I remember Christmas of '94. I looked under the tree. There was a Super Nintendo under there. What was a Super Nintendo? I really didn't know. I wasn't even in school yet. And I didn't know what everybody was playing or doing. Donkey Kong Country was the game that came with my Super Nintendo. It was a bundle that came with, both of them together. And I was like, I don't know what this is. And my dad set the Super Nintendo up, and just like my daughter, when I watched her play it for the first time, what did we do? Well, she just took Donkey Kong Country and she ran him straight into an enemy and died. Same thing I did back in 1994 because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what the buttons did. I learned. That's the game that helped me learn and love and appreciate video games. That's why I always fondly look back at Donkey Kong Country.
That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful.
Patreon.
But here we are. We're in the top picks. We're in the number 1 top picks. Number 2 on the list. Number 1 on my list is... Can you guess?
I smell Call of Duty.
Yeah. Call of Duty 2, the big red one. That is my number 1 game.
Wait, Nathan. That's before online multiplayer became a thing.
It is, as a matter of fact.
How can you love a Call of Duty that doesn't have online multiplayer?
The same reasons I actually play Call of Duties today.
What?
The campaign.
No.
The campaign. So... that game was the very first Call of Duty I ever played. I played Call of Duty 2, the big red one, and then I played Finest Hour, and then I didn't play 3, and then 4, and then the rest come out. I played from COD 4 straight to what we've got now.
It's a funny story because the only Call of Duty games that I played the campaign with are the exact ones he's talking about. Except
right.
I played 3 as well. But Big Red One, and that's... to this day, it's one of the games that me, him, and Philip all talk about because... we actually like us two. We love the story. I don't know with Philip yet. I know he played it because we had a lot of we bonded on that as well. but it's a real good game. If you're a war enthusiast and you love this, the story of where people came from in World War II and what happened during that whole thing, you'll love Big Red 1.
We'll see. As we look at all the games that I had Spider-Man 2, that was a movie. That was a movie with a plot that was already set. Madden 07, it's a sports game. There's no real story to that. SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, it's a wrestling game. Same thing. Lord of the Rings Conquest, it's a movie. Yep. So we're talking about 2 movies right here, and then we had sports. Mm-hmm. What set Call of Duty Big Red 1 at the top of this was the original story that they gave out. And the original story that they brought to it, a war story, a authentic war story, and that just blew my mind away. Getting to a point where I connected with characters. Brooklyn, or it was called Broomsfield or Bloomsfield, one of the two in that game.
Best pastrami sandwiches, man.
The best pastrami. I got the pastrami sandwiches. He said that in the second mission, literally the second mission, that was the second.
No, it was. Oh yeah, it was.
It was.
I was trying to think. I was
Remember,
like, yeah, it was. Yeah. I forgot about the first one. Yeah,
that's actually one of my favorite missions of all time, right there.
Yes,
that was one of my favorites.
Hey, my dad runs a deli back in the Bronx, makes the best pastrami sandwiches you'll ever eat.
Brooklyn, you ain't quite right.
Yeah, kind of like your sister, huh? You friggin' hayseed.
Playing that game, getting to know your platoon, getting to know those guys, every single one of them, all of them had a different story. All of them had their own character, their own personalities and everything. And I'm thinking, like, this is just a game. Like, why does it feel like I'm talking actually?
I don't know
if
it did.
People?
I was gonna say, I don't know if it did it to you, but it did to me because I'm not one that shows really most emotion through movies or games. Like, I'm not one for crying. Like, I've only cried like a handful of times during like movies and games, but Big Red 1 was one of the few that actually brought a tear to my eye because I thought about people, and I thought about people that was that I grew up with and was told about my grandparents' stories, and I was like, they went through this, they lost people, they had to share the same bunks or the same grounds with, and I was like, just playing through that and watching the story unfold and just watching colleagues and brothers in arms die. It was like hitting me.
I was about to say it made me respect storytelling. It really did, and understanding what all it takes to create a good story. Now, you can put together any campaign. That's why I literally play every single Call of Duty campaign. Every one that comes out, I play it. Now, I'm back and forth with if I want to play Vanguard. That's a whole other topic for another day. But I have played every single campaign ever since I played Finest Hour, Big Red 1, COD 4, all the way up to now. Every single campaign that's ever come out, I've played it. I've analyzed it. I even have, like, best to suck on all of them. Black Ops 3 is suck. We got that one at the bottom. I was going to throw that out there.
Come on! This way! Think I might actually make it home from this lousy war. Incoming! Find cover! Get out of there! Brooklyn! We can't stay here!
All right, it's time. Number 1 on the list, my number 1, a game that I hold near and dear to my heart to this day, absolutely love. I don't even have to say it, I'll just show it to you.
BanjoKazooie.
This game has been...
he was repping, he was ready for, like, I'm ready to got my one.
BanjoKazooie is an amazing platformer game that I did not even know anything about. Like, I remember like very seldomly reading about it in Nintendo Power. I know it was in there a lot, but then all of a sudden Rare was ready to represent this game. Like, they, Nintendo Power actually had a VHS tape that they sent out to everybody that was in Nintendo Power, and this tape previewed the game, previewed all the levels, previewed everything. And I remember I was like, okay, sure, I'll watch it. It's a free tape in the mail. I remember popping in my VCR and I seen it, and I was like, dude, this looks amazing. And you know, I remember every single day that passed, you know, while waiting for that game, I was talking about it. I was starting to read it more, and then all of a sudden Nintendo Power started putting it more in the magazine. I was getting hyped. And I know what they always say. It was like, don't read too much into the hype. It will, you know, be a letdown. But no, when that game finally came out and I finally got it, dude, I rushed home, put it in my console, played it, and never stopped. It was amazing. From the beginning in Spiral Mountain all the way to the end of kicking Gruntilda's butt on top of the tower, I fell in love with the music. Grant Kirkhope, he did some amazing music there, and I still rock out to it on YouTube all the time. Like, I love the music of that game. Yeah, it's some little cute music and whatnot, but it's something that sticks with you. It's amazing. Like, the whole story of going, you know, it's your normal, your Mario, go find Princess Peach, save her from Bowser, but it's Banjo going to save his sister from Gruntilda, because Gruntilda was tired of being ugly and wanted to be pretty. So she kidnapped Banjo's sister to become pretty. So you take Banjo and you traverse all the way through that tower to get to Gruntilda and kick her butt, her witchy butt, as they always say in the game. For me, to this day, it's been one game when I always think about any platformer, any game I play. If it wasn't for BanjoKazooie, I would not have been here I would not probably progress much in video games. Yes, I had games prior to that, but this was the one 3D game that opened my whole mindset of 3D games, and I was like, I'm ready for the next. Then all of a sudden you have BanjoTooie come out in 2000. Absolutely love playing that one. Yeah, we never got Banjo 3, and we got that car thing that came out on the Xbox 360 nuts and bolts. But to this day, it's like I still have those two, BanjoKazooie and Tooie. Kazooie, thank you for being there, part of my childhood, for making me the gamer to who I am today. Thank you, Rare, the company who made Donkey Kong Country. Thank you for continuing to make amazing games on the Nintendo 64.
Anyway, guys, I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here with us. Like I said before, be sure to hit the comment section. Let us know what's going on. Hopefully some more of these coming soon.
Yes.
I don't plan on a 2-year break.
I got a list, and this time the list is made.
Yes, he's got the list made. He is already throwing ideas at me, which I actually like. I've actually got a couple ideas myself. So you never know when we might pop up here, when we may have Philip on, or what. We'll figure that out as time comes on. We know Philip's one of those shy guys. He's a little tentative around the camo and the microphone, but it's okay. He's okay. Even if the guy's streaming nowadays, I don't get it. Philip, what's wrong with you? We love you. But anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here, and we will see you all later.